codes of self-esteem. It's the codes of who you are.
If you wanna talk about me, you better say the shit to my face. You better say the shit to my face.
Are you ready?
I busted my head open. Fun fact.
There could have been squid people.
Scared? Don't worry. We'll be there to hold your hand and guide you through this painless transition.
What's up, everyone? Happy Thursday. I hope everyone's having a good time. It's been kind of a crazy time for some of the Primos here, but we thought that we'd let you guys know because we're very transparent. We're going to try and change things up like we always have. Yeah, I think it's good never to stick with tradition, and that's what we're going to try to be. We're always going to try to go against the tradition. Anyways, I'm here joined by my colleagues, as always. Julie. Say what's up, Julie.
What's up, everyone? Hope y'all are having a great Thursday.
And then this guy over here. What's your name again?
That's hurtful.
I'm
Hi,
just kidding.
guys.
We're joined here by Brandon.
Hello.
So I wanted to go first. So, for those of you who don't know, and I doubt any of you do, my grandma recently passed away, and I thought I'd dedicate the opening to my grandma. So I'll probably start by saying the story of what's going on. About, I don't know, like 3 weeks ago, my grandma was telling my dad that she was feeling very sick. It's so sick that they brought her back here to the United States because we felt like we could give her better care here in the United States than if we were to leave her in Mexico. And she came here and she was sleeping all day. She really wasn't moving. She'd get up sometimes, but for the most part, it was all signs that there was something wrong. And they took it to the doctor, they took it to the hospital. She was there for a few days. They were running a few tests. And finally, they told us that she had cancer. And I'm sharing this story not as a means to shine the spotlight on myself in like a narcissistic way. It's mainly my way of coping and like kind of dealing with the situation. And I'm hoping that if anybody listens, maybe it helps them, kind of like know that a lot of people go through stuff and it's okay because you're never alone. And anyways, we had her in hospice at my house for about a week. Unfortunately, condition got worse. She eventually ended up passing away. And one of the things that stuck with me is that just last week we were talking about on the show about how people who are in hospice, who work at hospice, usually give stories on what people who are like on the edge of life see. Maybe sometimes they see loved ones, sometimes they see people that they've lost earlier in their life. And I don't have a story like that because my grandma was mainly always asleep when she was there. But one thing that I thought was interesting when she did pass was that she was on FaceTime with her brother. Obviously, she was comatose. She didn't really react. It was my uncles and aunts that put her on the camera. But she started crying while my uncle was talking to her, while her brother was talking to her and saying, like, it's okay, like, little sister, go ahead, you can rest now, you go away. And then my uncle, my dad, and my aunt, they all hugged her. And in just like a span of like 5 minutes, she passed. She stopped breathing. And when they came for her hours later to obviously take her body to the mortuary, like the wind picked up like extremely to the point where the power went out at my house. And my mom she talked to me this morning and told me maybe it was her way of saying like, oh, maybe she was still kind of scared of leaving, or she didn't want people to see her body get taken out because it was pitch black. But eventually when they had gotten her body and she was being put into the truck, the lights turned back on and the wind stopped, and it kind of felt like as if her like essence just left. And to me, it was one of those weird coincidences where I really wonder if like if there is something, there is an energy that escapes our body when we die, and that there isn't anything. I mean, just last week I was saying I don't think there's anything when we die, but it's weird when somebody close to you passes away, and it changes your perspective on life. And like this past week, just been on my mind. Because another coincidence that's happened is that a few years ago, me and my sister lost our aunt. And when we lost our aunt, our dog passed away, uh, like not that long after. And this time, I have a dog named Princess, and she's still alive, but we lost her at the beach, and we just found out 2 days ago that she got hit by a car. Um, she's fine. She's hanging in there, but I always think like how things. It's weird how things synchronize. I really wonder like what that's about. And I guess I bring it up on the show, like to kind of try and make sense of everything. I mean, I don't know, Julie, what's your thoughts? Because I know you're obviously part of my family, so I don't know what you've thought since like this whole mess of things have been going on, because it's a lot of things.
Yeah. No, yeah. I thought of the same thing too. I was like, it reminded me a lot of like when our tia passed away, because I know a week later our dog passed away, and then it was like our grandma passed away, and then like now Princess is kind of in the same situation. I mean, she's still here, and like she seems like we don't know which way it'll go, but I just thought it was weird that like it's kind of like a thing that's going on.
Yeah,
And I know
right?
some people have said like it comes in threes or something like that,
Mhm.
where like things happen in like threes. Like there's like this.
The rule of three,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I don't know. It's just it. I know it's been a lot at home, but I feel like I'm not as hurt of my grandma passing than when I was hurt when my tia passed away.
Mhm.
Because I feel like for abuelita, like we kind of knew she was sick, and we kind of like were already grieving on the
Mhm.
way of her like passing. I mean, we didn't know when. We kind
Mhm.
of all assumed that they told us it was a month, and she only lasted like a week.
Yeah.
And it was just like it was crazy to me just seeing how like hospice worked, because I took a class on it,
Oh yeah.
and so I kind of knew like everything that was going on. So like that one time when she was awake and she was like talking,
Mhm.
it kind of hit me that I was like, I think she's probably gonna pass in a few days, because it's this thing that they call like your end of life like energy. Like you get this
Energy
spark
boost?
of you get this spark of energy boost when you're like coming to your end, and like she had that. And then she started having like the same symptoms of like nearing like death and stuff. So I was kind of like, I think she's getting there. And I think I told you,
Yeah,
I
you
was
did.
like, I think she's gonna pass. Like, I don't think she's gonna make it like to the rest of the week.
And you're right.
And I was right, and she passed away like over the weekend. And then I think the one point that I also like stuck out to me was that she talked to her brother. Her brother was in Mexico, so that's why like they were FaceTiming. And it was just like she started crying, and I was like, and then that's when we were kind of like she could still hear us. Like she could
Yeah.
still, even though she was like her eyes weren't opening like anything, she could still hear us. And I think like that was like the biggest thing of like the last person she technically heard was her brother. And it was just like I think she was worried that like she didn't get to see them anymore.
Mhm.
And I think that's why she was like super emotional when like she heard him. But it was just like the other
How-
part,
How old was grandma?
she was 70s. Bobby's turning what, 57?
75?
Bobby's
Oh yeah. My dad,
Bobby's,
56. Yeah.
50, he's turning 56.
I think so.
Because her birthday just passed in December, so
Uh-huh,
she's
yeah.
probably like she was probably either 76 or 77.
Oh.
Yeah, I think she was around
Uh-huh.
that age. Yeah.
Because I remember one of the things that I was like, I wasn't sure how to react was when she was in hospice. There was times she was basically bedridden. She wouldn't move from the bed or anything. But she'd be up at least for the first few days. She would be regularly up. She would talk very slowly, or she would react very slowly, but she was up and aware. And do you remember the specific time where I was walking upstairs and she saw me, and then they called me back to talk to her? I remember I was really wondering what she was thinking, because I think it's important for context to say that I'm like the youngest in my family. I've always been the youngest in my family. My brother, since he was the firstborn, my grandma knows his name, but my grandma never really knew my name. I was always known as the kid. That's what she would call me, like El Niño. She never called me by name, but she would call my older brother that. And I remember when I went to her, and I was just smiling because I've have like this insecurity about my Spanish, and then my grandma's kind of rough at hearing, and since I'm surrounded by my family and my extended family likes to like make fun of my Spanish, and it's fine. It's just teasing. It's what Mexicans do. Um, but I was just really insecure about my Spanish, that I didn't really want to say anything, so I just stood by her, and I just smiled. Um, and she was just staring at me like and like and she was just like staring deep into me, and I really wonder what she was thinking, because I've never really had that close relationship with my grandma as much as I feel like maybe some of my other relatives did. um because it's very like traditional old school like relationship of like my grandma was a very strong, like hard-headed, not hard-headed, just a very stern older woman who she didn't really show emotion. She didn't really like show affection. She wasn't that type of person. I mean, she's older. It was a different generation, and especially in Mexico. And I really wondered, like, in those final moments where she was looking at me, I wonder if she was looking at me and thinking, like, what was her perception of me? Like, because since I'm the youngest, like, I just felt like the gap was so huge that I really wonder, like, couldn't any, did she care about me? Like, did she, feel strongly about me? And like, because I cared about her, and I did love her. But I hate that like my insecurities always like kind of made a wall between me and my grandma, you know.
Oh, because of the fact that you you couldn't speak Spanish
Yeah,
well,
so
or like she also was hard of hearing.
yeah, because she was hard of hearing. I'd have to speak Spanish, and I had to speak it loud and proud, and that pride isn't there for me. Like, I can speak Spanish and I know Spanish and I can understand it, but like I fumble my words, and like I use the wrong like grammar, like grammatically, and when you would talk to grandma, since she's constantly surrounded by like 20 people, um, everybody would listen to what you're gonna say, and I never knew what to say, because I knew if I said something wrong, it would just kind of, my extended family would have this perception of me that like I feel like they'd be disappointed in me, because like she's on her like deathbed and I can't even talk to her, and like it's something that I just think about, you know. But like the hospice is interesting. That like we were talking about it last time with Keith about how life is like a cycle. Like the fact that my grandma was bedridden, they made her wear like an adult diaper, right? And you have to change the diaper the same way you would change it for anybody else every time they poop, and then it's all like her kids like changing her, and it's weird how like you go from being like a little baby and being changed by your parents to then being an older person and being changed by your kids. I don't know.
It was crazy too, because like I know the way we would serve her and stuff, we would give her like the baby, like the kids like cups, because she actually liked those. Like that was her preference. Like it wasn't like us choosing for her. She would actually choose like to use like the baby cups or like the small ones. But I feel like how you're mentioning about like abuelita and like thinking if she if she like knew about you and like all that stuff, I feel like she was very aware of it, because I feel like especially we were Papi's kids, like Papi's like the oldest, and it's only 3 of us, so like she was always very aware of us and like who we were. And I know like for you, the only reason I feel like she called you a niño was because your name is Steve, and so like I think for her it was like it's kind of like the opposite of you. Like she was like, her English is not that well, so she was like, she didn't want to mess up your name, so she would just call you El Niño, or like because she would see you around and she would always ask mom like, oh, ¿dónde va? Or like, ¿qué va a hacer? Or blah blah blah. Like mom would have the conversations about you to her. So she knew who you were. It was just like your name sometimes some people in our family is a little like
No, yeah,
complex.
I get you.
But
It seems simple in English, Steve, but like
Yeah.
in Spanish, it's like I mean, I've my entire life I've grown up with people misspelling my name
yeah.
in like the little like birthday cards. The most outrageous one I ever saw was they spelled Steve Estik, like a
Bruh.
stick.
Bruh.
And I was like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But that's true. I never thought of it that way. That she maybe felt insecure herself.
Yeah.
But
Because I feel like I remember we had the conversation like a long ass time ago. Because we were trying to tell her like to call you Steve. We were like, say Steve. And she couldn't do it. Like she just I don't know, I just like she would try and then she would kind of just like be like, all right, like I tried kind of thing. But I feel like she was very aware of you. Like I think like my most like the most fond memory that I have like when she was on hospice was that like I would always smile at her because I was also like the same thing, like I didn't know how to communicate with her, like because she was hard of hearing and me like I just never know what kind of conversations to have.
yeah.
So like I would talk to her and I'd be like, oh, how are you, or I would say this, but that's all I would go up to. Like I wouldn't know like what type of conversation to have with her. So when she was on hospice and I knew like she was like slow and stuff, I would just smile at her. And I mean, she was kind of weak, so like you could see that she was trying to smile back at me. And I think I always like remember that because it happened twice. Like she would look at me and I didn't know how to react, and because I was kind of far, like everyone was surrounding her, so I'd be like at the other edge of like the bed, and so I would just smile at her and she would smile back at me. And I'm like, and I don't know, there was just something about it that like it was really nice to see, because also she didn't smile that much either.
Yeah.
She was always very like Stevie
She
said,
was a
like,
very hard
always,
woman.
she was very serious, and like the fact to see her that she would actually smile back at me was really nice.
Yeah. She was definitely my dad's mom, because my dad's very much the same way. And I'm sure a lot of Mexican dads are like that. But since my segment is coming close to an end, I want to end it on a positive note. One of the things that I feel very positive about is that I've got to see a lot of my extended family over the years, and I haven't really seen some of them in like forever. Like I have this cousin Eric, and I really like Eric. Eric is cool. I'm not sure if he's hearing. I'm not sure if he'll ever hear this, but it's nice to reconnect with him because Eric's really funny, and he's a cousin that I didn't realize how much I missed until I've seen him like every day now. Even recently, I'll probably see him today. I like the active community that's like, I never realized how much I'd love having a big family, because I feel like when I was a kid, we would always do things together.
Yeah.
But now that we're all older, a lot of us have moved away and a lot of us have kind of separated. A lot of us are, we just grew up.
Yeah.
We have our own things going on and it's fine. There's no resentment there. But now that like everybody's constantly over at the house, there's pros and cons, but I guess my favorite pro is that I feel like I'm part of a big family. I feel like I have last week when we did the episode with Keith, the way I got home and my aunt congratulated me on a good episode. She told me that they were all listening on the radio, and it felt really nice because of course like my parents they support me, but like to come home and have like multiple families tell me that they thought that I did a good job, to me I felt like I didn't feel so alone. Yeah. I felt like I had supporters, and like it felt good to be part of a team that really wants you to win. And I guess that's the biggest highlight that I can say about that. One last good gift that our grandma left us is she left us this feeling of family. And I mean, maybe it won't always be that way, life happens, people get messed up, but at least for that short moment we were all in it together, and it was nice not to be alone. But yeah, go ahead, Julie. What'd you bring for the table this week?
Just to say, Patty with Fatty said, my favorite memory of my grandfather, he's no longer with us, but when I would visit, he would be like, mijo, and pet my head.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, thank you for sharing, Patty with Fatty.
Yeah, I really
We
appreciate you
it.
sharing that personal moment.
All right. So mine, of course, yesterday was the anniversary of the good old Kobe Bryant, the passing. And I know like we've talked about it, and you guys were sometimes like it's too hard to talk about. I don't know if it's finally there, but I wanted to know about you guys, and because I know you guys are big Kobe fans. Sadly, I wasn't. And not saying it was just like
No,
personal
I mean,
stuff.
yeah.
But I stick to that because that's how I honored him. Is that I'm not gonna join the bandwagon.
He would want you to stay who you are,
Yes.
honestly.
So I'm gonna stick to that. But I acknowledge that he was a good basketball player and like he was, a legend. But I wanted to know for you guys because I know you guys knew him. Well, not knew him, but you guys saw him and you guys were big fans of him. And I wanted to know from you guys what he meant to you guys because I know at least to LA he meant a lot.
Yeah.
Like we've seen him everywhere. We saw that we were all kind of going through it when he like passed and we heard the news. So I kind of wanted to know from you guys what your perspective or how you guys saw him and what he meant to you guys. If he has any meaning, and anyone in the comments or viewers, listeners, if you guys want to throw in some, or call in, y'all can let us know. But whoever wants to go first.
Brandon, you can go ahead and go first.
I was always a big basketball fan.
Mhm.
That was my sport when I was a kid. I really liked basketball. And obviously, my team was the Lakers. So I loved, Kobe, Magic, Kareem, all those guys.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, my mom would always take me to signings. Like I met Ron Artest, Derek Fisher. When I was a kid. And I remember it must have been like 2009 or 10 when the Lakers, I think it was when they repeated.
Yeah,
It was
2009 and 10, I think they both won.
So I think it was 2010. I can't remember if this was when it dropped, but Kobe's shoe dropped. He had his Black Mamas, and they were like, they weren't the most aesthetically pleasing now.
I heard, I've always heard that those shoes were low key ugly.
Well, I mean, I was a kid, but
it's not my opinion. I don't.
I've seen the black ones, and those look nice. But I got the bright purple and yellow, and that was as close as I ever got to like the sneaker head thing. I wasn't really. It was more because it was Kobe's shoe.
Mhm.
I remember waiting in line, for like at the Fox Hills Mall. I think that's what it was. For this shoe because I saw it was during the finals, I think. Or during the game, they advertised his shoe, and I was like, dude, I gotta get that because like I'll wear those to my basketball games, and I'll be just like Kobe. And I remember when I got them, Ron Artest was there, the Laker.
Yeah.
And so I met him at the same time. And I would go to signings and wear them, and people would, hey, you got the Kobe's on, like you should look at Sauls and stuff. So I always kind of saw Kobe is like the guy, he was
Spider-Man. he was our Spider-Man to New York.
He was like
Batman to Gotham City.
How I imagine Michael Jordan was to Chicago,
I get you.
I was never like he was never like, I won't lie, he wasn't like my hero. It was just more I love that guy. But to me, I always liked and envied his passion. I think that's something that's just, for one, it's interesting, and two, I think it's something that I just envy. I think that's just, you could tell that guy was in love with basketball. There's nothing that guy loved more than basketball. I mean, obviously he loved his family, I'm sure. I just mean his love for the craft. His love for the craft was second to none. Yeah. And I always thought that was his best attribute, is that he was willing. It's just the sheer, they would just bleed through the screen. Like I remember when he broke his nose and he had the mask on, and when he
Mamba,
when he dislocated his finger and they popped it back in place and he went back in. Yeah. Or when I forgot what it was.
Didn't he tear his Achilles and then he shot
the free throw still? And I think he what did he do to his shoulder where he played the rest of the game with just the left hand?
I think he had dislocated his elbow, and like he was just like, fuck it, like he just ignored it and he kept playing. I think, but it was
can't
something
remember.
with his arm.
I
It
know
was something
some.
with his
Yeah,
arm.
I can't remember what specifically it was. Or when Matt Barnes, faked him out and Kobe didn't even blink.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
It was just he was more than. It felt like he was more than human because of his passion, and as someone who like I have a love for a craft and I want to get into film and the arts and stuff like that, and I to me it's like that's kind of why I always was into him is to see how far just passion takes you.
Yeah, well, that's why
yeah.
That's what I was gonna bring up in terms of my relation to Kobe, because my older brother, like, that was his hero. Like, my older brother loved Kobe Bryant. Like, he said he would go gay for him. Like, he said he could say he could be as intimate as he wanted to be with Kobe Bryant. That's how much he loved him. But as far as me, I admired, like you said, his passion, but it wasn't until he released that short film about basketball. Yeah, what is it called?
Dear Basketball.
Dear Basketball. For those of you who haven't seen it, it literally won an Oscar, like a GOAT status. And when I first saw that, it was how it related to me because I love film the same way as you. Like, I love film. Like, it's 100% what I want to do with my life. And like, to me, seeing his passion displayed as a story on the big screen was such like an intimate moment and personal like feeling that he left for himself, because I think art is very personal, and for him to put that on the screen and show it to everybody, to me it really showed a different side of Kobe Bryant. He wasn't always the vicious like assassin on the court who like who like was always like yelling at his teammates, because obviously he was known for that. Or like to me, I love that part of the short film where he says like, my mind still wants to be in the game, but my body's telling me that it's time to go. I like that aspect of it because it also kind of reminds me of my dad. This morning my mom was telling me about how like everything we have now is because my dad and her are hard workers. She's like, there were times where we'd be at the work all day. There are times where we would work all the time. So everything that we have now, and like, grind culture isn't for everyone, and there's like pros and cons to grind culture. But Kobe Bryant was a guy who said he willed his way. He wanted to be like Michael Jordan. He wanted to be the best that there was, even if his body was giving out on him. And I like that mentality of like you could be kind of restrained by your body, but your mind will take you as far as you can go. And like, to me, I have like the utmost respect for putting that perspective in my mind. And then I also want to give a quick shout out to Gigi, and then like everybody, all the other people who were in
the tragedy.
Because I mean,
because yes, it's absolutely tragic that everybody involved passed away in such a horrific way. It's not just Kobe who mattered, but everybody mattered there. It's heartbreaking that a bunch of children passed away.
Yeah, I feel like for me, what always hit me the most was like the fact that like it was him and his daughter, right, and all the other families, but it was just like there was like almost this thing of like his daughter like was probably going to be big, you know, because like he's the one who's training her and like all these other girls, because he was the coach for like their team. And it's like knowing that there could have been like a change within the WNBA, and I feel like sometimes that hurts me a lot, like knowing that it kind of won't happen, because she was really young, you know, and knowing that she wasn't able to like live that life kind of thing. But it's nice to see that like at least for them, like they were inspiring. And it's like, you know, like when the whole thing of like came out that he's like, what is it, like a girl dad, like everyone was like super like appreciative of that, of like, you know, he mostly just had girls, and it's like he was trying to bring them out, and like he was just putting them first and stuff. And it was just like, I don't know, it was really nice like seeing all of that. And I mean, it was tragic of like everything that especially Vanessa Bryant went through, and like all that stuff, and like them as a family that they all went through. But and like, you know, always sending good vibes to the families who were affected by all this.
Well, one of the things you brought up, Vanessa Bryant, and this is why I also fuck with Kobe, because his wife was Mexican, and in the 90s, obviously racial tensions are still a little high. But Kobe Bryant was a guy who kind of like, if you were Mexican, like you rooted for Kobe Bryant, and in a way, it was a way to break racial ties.
Yeah.
And it relates to us here in the station. I mean, we're a Latinx station on a black-owned network.
Yeah.
So like Kobe's ties, like they're very personal, even here on the network. And Vanessa Bryant, like being there, because I can't imagine the racist things that people say to her. And I think her mom, right?
Yeah, her mom, which was the other fucked up part, right? Was that when Kobe passed away, her mom sued her, saying that like that they weren't paying her anymore for like being a nanny and like all that stuff. And then supposedly she said that like Kobe Bryant promised her that she was always gonna take care of her. And Vanessa Bryant was like, well, I mean, he passed. Like, those were just promises. Everything else is disregarded. Like, he's not here. He's not here to say if it was a yes or no kind of thing. And, like, his mom, and the fucked up part was that she was demanding all this. But I think when, like, they were dating, her mom was racist towards Kobe Bryant. And it's just, like, you know, it's kind of like, it's fucked that, like, she's still going through a lot. Especially because currently she's also going through the lawsuit of
the
like
police,
the police that like they took pictures, and I think they said it was like about 28 like officers or deputies, even plus firefighters, that like the pictures got circulated. So like the whole like lawsuit and like the trial is gonna go next month. But it's just like, bro, like it's just crazy. It's just crazy what's going on with her.
Do you know the story of how like people even found out the cops took those pictures?
Yeah, because they showed them in bars.
Yeah,
and someone actually filed a complaint to the sheriff's department. There's like this thing on their website where you can like be like chat with us or like call or contact us or something. And they sent a letter saying like, hey, like your people are showing like pictures around. And it wasn't just at a bar. It was like it was also like at an award show. Someone was doing it like during the cocktail hour. Yeah. Yeah. It was like,
well, it's such a weird thing because obviously the cop was doing it in order to like hit on these women. Yeah. But I don't know, like if your opening line when you're hitting on a girl is to show gruesome, gory death of like a popular celebrity.
Well, because the other part, I think one of them was like what do you call it, like it was like kind of like his first time like being out there like working. I forget what the word is, but like he was new. He was basically
rookie.
Yeah, and he was like on the site. So the way they said that, it seemed like it was more of like, you know, it's Kobe Bryant, like he's there kind of thing. So he was like, oh, I'm the one who has to be taking care of it. Like he thought he was, you know, big shit because he was there and like he was the one who had to take care of it or whatever. And I think that's like what he did. So that's why he was showing it around. Yeah. And then it was just like, bro, like they're like dead bodies. Like, bro, how really, you're really trying to flex that? Like,
he thought he ate. Like, he thought this one was definitely gonna get him some pussy. Like, I'm like, bro, like the girls at the bar are gonna love this one. And then boom, like getting sued now by Vanessa Bryant herself.
Yeah, absolutely. That's disgusting. Yeah, that guy should be ashamed of himself. I think that's, I don't know, that's really disgusting to me.
She's suing them for like, what is it, like emotional distress?
Yeah.
There's no. I mean, you expect the police to be helping you and be professional and to think like they think it's like funny and it's gonna like it's gonna like get me some.
Do you think it goes back to was it the LAPD or was it because did he die in LA County or LA City? Patty with the Fatty said it was his superior. I would have checked him.
I think he means if I was his superior.
Oh, okay.
If I was his superior.
Yeah.
Because when they found out, I think like the head of like the department like told them to just delete the photos. They were like, just delete them, and they were like, if you delete them, then nothing will happen. But like Vanessa Bryant found out, and she was like, bro, like
that guy should be fired, bro.
Well, like the guy, like he's not even a true Angelino. Okay, because I get the morbid curiosity of like just for a second trying to see his point of view, right? I get the morbid curiosity of you found Kobe Bryant's body, you found probably the body of these other people and his daughter, and your kind of morbid curiosity is like, okay, this is Kobe Bryant, like I can't believe this is his body. I'm like, I can't even process all of this that's happening right now. I was like, I understand maybe you want to take a picture, and okay, maybe I can let that slide because of morbid curiosity, right? But I don't know about going around and showing it to everybody else who like knows it publicly, parading it everywhere. Like to me, it's like, what is there to gain? Is it like the clout? Is like the police?
Yeah.
Is clout really the biggest disease in the United States? Like even the police
Yeah.
can't escape like its grips of wanting
Yeah.
to be like having like social currency.
Patty
Yeah.
with Fatty says, and yeah, it was sheriffs. LEPD didn't operate there. Yeah, I
Didn't
mean,
operate there.
I don't know. I don't know that I really find disgusting. I don't
because the thing that like because I read like a whole article on it because yesterday it was like around and then the
Mhm.
article came out and she was saying that like the reason she's doing it is more for accountability, like that this doesn't happen again,
yeah,
because
exactly.
her fear and the reason she has so much like of the emotional distress is that she's scared that one day her daughters are gonna see those photos,
Yeah,
like they're gonna get leaked somewhere.
yeah. I
And
mean,
even though they've said like they deleted the photos, like the opposite
That's just
thing
their
is that
word,
is
you
that
know?
they said that they deleted the photos, right?
Yeah.
And all that stuff.
Yeah.
But her ultimate fear is that like her daughters are someday
Gonna
if
see
these
it.
photos like maybe they deleted them, but maybe some of them got leaked right
Yeah.
online. We haven't seen them yet,
Yeah.
but like they're probably somewhere. And like her fear is that her daughters are gonna see those bodies one day, and the fact that that's gonna be like their trauma.
Uh-huh.
So she's like, so basically what she said was that every day she lives in that fear. Like she's in that fear that like
one day she's
that
gonna
one
turn
day-
on her phone
and
and
she's
it's
gonna
gonna
see
be
the she's
trending
gonna
on
see the
Twitter.
pictures.
Yeah.
Because what she said is that right now all she has, well, I mean, she probably saw them to like identify them, right?
Yeah.
But like also what she has is she has their clothes of when they were in that crash. So she's like, if you would see those clothes, like I can't imagine what those
Damn.
actual images look like.
Damn.
And it's just like and it's just crazy because
Well,
it's
because
like
if you guys have read the autopsy report obviously is pretty
Yeah,
accurate.
yeah.
And like from the autopsy report, yeah, I can't imagine like just for like those of our viewers who have the morbid curiosity, it's not good.
yeah,
It's basically like pieces and bits.
yeah,
Like they are not a complete body anymore.
yeah,
Gigi surprisingly got like the best of it. Like for the most part, her body's intact. It's mainly Kobe because obviously he was such a tall guy that he was mainly messed up the most by the
Yeah.
crash. So those pictures, if they ever got leaked, they'd be extremely gruesome.
yeah.
So I never knew that her fear was that her daughters would see it, but yeah, probably not a good thing at
Yeah.
all.
It's just and what she wants is the accountability that this never happens to anyone else.
Mhm.
Because the other part that I read was that the first thing she said when she found out, she told the sheriff like block everything immediately. She's
Mhm.
like, because people are gonna try to go in there. So
Mhm.
she's like, I don't wanna have anyone, like you need to block everyone immediately. And then that's like what he did. You know, the guy who told it essentially it's the same guy who told everyone else to delete the photos. Like he was the head of the sheriff's department and he's the one who like ordered everything, but yet still people like his own department was the
Yeah.
ones who took the pictures of like which was her like ultimate fear in the first place,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
No, yeah, I don't believe that sheriff one bit. There's no way he deleted those pictures. If he was curious enough to take those pictures, he for sure has them somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll ever be leaked. Maybe he's smart about it. Maybe he put it on a hard
Mhm.
drive and it's like locked somewhere.
Yeah.
But I really doubt if somebody is so like desensitized to it to where he's showing it around. I really doubt that it's like gone, especially if you spread it to like everybody in the department. They said, what did you say? Like 20, like more than 20 people?
Yeah, it was like 28. And the total I think is 28 people.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, in
Well-
middle school, you learn about telephone.
Well,
Yeah.
I sincerely hope that it goes in Vanessa's way.
Yeah.
She's a
'Cause-
really strong woman.
Yeah.
For having, it's a shame she has to even deal with this kind of thing.
Mhm.
I think everybody involved should be deeply ashamed of themselves.
Yeah.
There's no fucking respect.
Because this is
for
what she said. She said, I just don't understand how someone can have no regard for life and compassion,
Yeah.
and instead chose to take that opportunity to photograph lifeless and helpless individuals for their own sick amusement.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I don't care if he was morbidly curious. I think
So,
he
yeah.
should be ashamed of himself.
And they tried to come with like a settlement, like they tried to give her like a settlement, but all
No.
she would say was like no, like
All
this is
she
going,
has-
she would say like no, this is all going to trial, and she said she wants it to be trial by jury, and they're gonna decide what happens to them.
Oh, so they might do jail time?
Yeah,
Oh, damn.
yeah.
I
So it's
think-
all happening next month.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I guess there'll be more updates on it next month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's also different. Like if they were like random people.
Yeah.
At least I'm trying to see it from their
I'm sure
side.
if they do it for Kobe Bryant, I'm sure they do other shit that's
No,
completely
my
fucked
bad.
up.
I mean like if it was a random people who came upon the crash and they're like oh shit, like this Kobe, it still would be wrong. But the fact that they were like police, they were officials, they have
There should
power.
be,
It's
yeah.
like you would think that they've seen probably some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you go on the Citizen app, you see people getting killed all the time. You think they'd see enough things to know, don't take a fucking picture of this.
Yeah. And I think some of the families are joining in this lawsuit. Like they're with her. Like it's
Oh,
not just
really?
her by herself. Like other families are with them.
Well, I mean,
Um,
fucking think about it. It's fucking like it fucking pisses me off because think about it. It's your fucking family. There's a bunch of kids there, and the people who are professionals who are supposed to like support you, they're supposed to protect you. They're taking pictures for their amusement, and they think it's funny, and they're showing it to people to try to get pussy. Like that's not like I don't give a fuck, dude. Like they should do jail time. There should be serious consequences for that. Because imagine all the shit that they do that isn't involving celebrities, and they're just supposed to take their word.
That's true.
Like fuck that.
Yeah.
Like fucking should be fucking disgusted with themselves, bro. They have no respect.
Yeah.
I have no respect for them either. That's
Yeah.
fucking that pisses me off because like I feel like they should. I
Yeah.
sincerely hope Vanessa and her family get justice because.
Yeah.
Who knows how much the fucking sheriffs are doing?
Yeah.
And that's the sheriffs. Like,
Yeah.
that's how the sheriffs are fucking acting.
Yeah.
Like, bro, my god.
And people still wonder why like people don't trust the police departments around here.
Yeah.
Patty with the fatty says it's the sheriffs. I never liked them at all. They have so much bad history.
Oh, it's like sometimes when people come from out of state, they ask me like, are the police really as bad as they say? And I mean, me personally, I have been pulled over for no reason other than like looking suspicious, right? But like in terms of what you hear, yeah, it's pretty bad. Like it's not just something people make up. Like I get it if maybe you're like, actually I still don't get it. But if you're like in the Midwest or something, and like the cops are mainly family people, and they're like that, like I kind of get why you would sympathize with them.
Yeah.
But here in Los Angeles, bro,
It's
there's so many stories of shit going wrong with the cops. Yeah, like maybe it's true. Like I'm sure there's one rookie cop out there with a heart of gold and everything, but there's a lot more who fucking like
Abuse.
have a power, like have a god complex, and they don't give a fuck.
Yeah. It's just something that you unfortunately have to experience to understand. I mean, I myself didn't really get it until recent years, and you know, it's something I'm upset about. But you know, I do my best to try to correct that. But yeah.
Well, Brandon, what did you bring for the table this week?
Well, my thing, last thing I want to say about Kobe Bryant, just before we move on. I hope, first of all, rest in peace to everybody involved. Again, I hope much love to all the families involved and Vanessa Bryant. But the last thing I want to say for Kobe is I see a lot of things circulating about is that people will say like Kobe's not top 10. Be like, Kobe's not even like the truth is Kobe's not top 10. If you believe that, I think you're dumb because it's okay, in my opinion, think Kobe's not the GOAT. I mean, whoever you think is the GOAT, I don't care. But to say Kobe's not top 10, you're just saying that because you think it's a controversial take and you want to be different.
Yeah,
it's fucking like you're wrong. Kobe is top 10.
People have this strange idea that because Kobe died, now like people think he's like awesome, but he was already an amazing player and like a GOAT talk before he died.
A 3-peat and a repeat. And he did the repeat fucking basically by himself. Like, shut up,
bro. 81 points. He has the record, right? 81 points. Boom. That's all.
Some of the top players who people say are like the GOATs or top 10 will tell you that Kobe is top 10. So you don't know better than the people who do it for a living.
You don't know basketball if you don't think Kobe's top 10.
Yeah. But yeah. Love you, Kobe.
Yeah.
What I brought today was recently Joe Rogan was in some hot water as usual.
Recently, more like always.
But what he's in hot water for is a bunch of misinformation. Apparently, I don't know specifically what he said or what guest he had on that apparently misinformed him.
You know what? This is a good topic. Go ahead.
But what was it? It's
It
a
was,
ridiculous.
it was misinforming of vaccines.
vaccines, but I don't remember the exact number. It was a ridiculous a number of, I think,
Researchers and scientists.
scientists who were petitioning Spotify to get Joe Rogan removed. But then recently, uh, an artist, I'm not really familiar with him.
Just to go back, Chris 17181 said Kobe's top 5.
Yes, he is.
I can respect that. I can
um,
respect that.
Go ahead,
but
Brandon.
recently, Neil Young, who's I think a country singer, I'm not really familiar with him. I won't lie. But
Yeah.
he said that if Joe Rogan's on Spotify, his music won't be. And
Yeah.
Spotify said
Yeah.
okay, and they took Neil Young's music off of Spotify.
Can't believe.
What do you guys think about that? Because
Okay.
well, there's a lot of things. Just to
Yeah.
kind of before you guys answer, there's people
So,
who say like,
What is
well,
it? Neil?
there's people who
Young?
say like, oh well, it's like you're censoring him. It doesn't matter if it's like this is America, it's free speech, yada yada yada. What do you guys think about that?
No, I agree. I don't think Joe Rogan should be taken down for his show. I haven't even watched Joe Rogan's show in the longest. And like I really don't get. I could really care less if he is saying like misinformation, because to me it's not like he's using mind control tricks. I understand if he's maybe a person in power who's like paying multiple like ad companies and like having a grassroots movement to try and get people to like tear down vaccine centers and not get the vaccine, but he's just stating his fucking opinion, man. And like to me it's like it's just freedom of speech. I mean, it relates to us because we have a fucking podcast. And I mean, like if like for me, I'm gonna believe what I'm gonna believe. And like if you don't agree with that, then that's fine. You could disagree with what I have to believe, but it doesn't mean you should shut me up and ban me from my platform. I mean, if somebody wants to believe me, like that's on them. If somebody wants to believe what I believe because I believe that, that's on them. I'm not in control of everybody's power. Everybody has free will, so I don't think you should like censor free speech. And to me, it's so weird because like the fact that researchers and scientists signed it, I respect researchers and scientists immensely, and I would think that they would be some of the people who would be educated enough to defend freedom of speech. And I understand that like Joe Rogan, he says a lot of out of pocket shit that like people don't agree with. I mean, like I said, I probably don't agree with anything that he's saying. And I don't even agree with him with the vaccines. I don't think he's vaccinated.
Yeah, we're
And I
all
don't-
vaccinated.
Yeah.
Like
I don't-
boosted too.
I don't agree with that. But like just because I disagree with someone doesn't mean I think that they should shut up forever. I mean, I used to talk to my sister about how one of the things that I really don't like about social media is that when people meet people who have a different opinion of them, they either block them or they mute them or they find some way to stop like interacting with them. And I think that's a dangerous idea because I think even in science, and that's why I said I was shocked scientists don't like they sign to get them off the platform, because even in science you learn that diversity is a great thing to have. And I feel like I feel like
Mic drop.
no, but I just feel like when you meet somebody, let's say you're liberal and you meet somebody who's conservative and you're like, fuck this guy, I'm gonna block him. That not only puts a wall between you and that guy, that also puts all the conservatives in the same field where they only see each other. So it creates two sides of people who only agree with people who have similar ideas with them. And to me, that's dangerous because you never have any opinion for like any thought. I mean, conservatives are always like, oh my God, like liberals are gonna like turning this into 1984 where you don't have freedom of speech. But like they don't understand that they're also doing the same thing because they're only interacting with the same people. Instead, like there should be a mutual like discourse where people can express how they feel. And like to me, I don't get why like people are so like letting Joe Rogan live in their head rent free, like as if like like every time they listen to Spotify immediately plays Joe Rogan once you get in there. Like, bro, it's music. Like, you disagree, don't listen to his fucking podcast. Like
you could block him on Spotify.
Like people want to be babied, like fucking toddlers.
One thing that makes me upset is like Joe Rogan's a podcaster. He's a podcaster. He's not a fucking doctor. You're not supposed to listen to them other than for entertainment.
Yeah,
that's not Joe Rogan's fault. You know,
Yeah.
like with Donald Trump, and when he was saying shit, that's the boss. That's the big boss. That's the president.
That's the leader of the free world.
That's the leader of the free world. So I get when people are upset when he says some out of pocket shit, or Joe Biden. When the president or like the governor
Yeah.
or like a police officer or someone in authority says something, I understand why people get upset because that's the guy who gives the orders. I get it. It's like being in school, right? If the teacher tells you to get on the table, you're gonna be like, oh well, the teacher says it, so fuck yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But if your fucking idiot classmate who's just like there to have fun tells you to get on the table, would you do it? No, because there's a difference.
And if you do it, is that your fault? Or
it's
is,
not
or is it his fault?
yeah, it's not his fault. It's your
Yeah.
fault. Like
Yeah.
Patrice O'Neill had a good
Yeah.
joke about this where he was talking about how like people like to he was talking about how I'm probably gonna butcher the joke, but he was talking about how people are always like, yeah, fuck Hitler, like fuck Hitler, and he's like, yeah, Hitler was a bad dude, but he's like, nobody ever talks about the millions of people who like blindly followed him.
Yeah.
Like, what, aren't they equally responsible?
Yeah.
And I feel like when people put so much emphasis on Joe Rogan or any celebrity in general to like, oh, they have a platform, like, oh, like whatever they say, like this, it's like, I feel like they're doing that. Like they're giving him so much power. They're the ones empowering him. Like if, like, no disrespect to Joe Rogan, he's just a dude. He's a fight commentator. He's a fighter. He's a podcaster.
Yeah.
His credibility.
I was gonna say, I mean, he's doing his job, bro. He's getting them all mad, and that's what he wanted. That's kind of, I feel like that's what he kind of wants.
Yeah.
And he's doing it.
Basically,
you guys are falling. You guys are basically falling into his trap of like having these arguments and having these things. Like, bro, like he's a podcaster.
You guys are literally giving him more power.
Yeah.
Like now you're telling me there's some of the most educated researchers in the world know who Joe Rogan is.
Yeah. And they, well, like, and think about what they're doing too. Like all these researchers and like all they're like, he's dangerous, get him off. Like a bunch of idiots are gonna be like, oh, he's dangerous, he's against the establishment. I gotta go listen to this guy. Like, you know what I mean?
You guys are giving him more publicity and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's good for him.
For
like,
me, it's
like
always,
he's being talked about.
It's always like, I hate that people give celebrities so much like power, like they know what they're talking about. I'm not like, and I'm not here dissing Joe Rogan. I like that's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm just trying to say is like, he's no more credible than like your friend, like who's on the street.
It's true.
And if your friend gives you medical advice, you're probably gonna be like, bro, what do you know? You're not like a doctor.
Yeah.
And like the fact that everybody's like, oh, he's dangerous, he needs to be silenced, and then CNN like edits him to look sick and like gross when he when he caught coronavirus. It's like, you guys are the ones doing it.
Yeah.
And I feel like people should hold the people that listen to him accountable. Like,
well, because I could totally see the counter argument. Somebody on Twitter, let's say they were listening to our podcast right now, they'd be like, oh, it's like, but like, I was like, Adolf Hitler was just some guy who then like he influenced everybody. So yeah, but Hitler also had a fucking army who was like out here actually like doing shit. Joe Rogan, what does he have? Nothing.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a fucking army, a militia behind him.
It's always these people who are like, oh, it's because I think for myself. It's like, no, you're not. If you're following like just some random guy off the street, like, but yeah, I agree. It is kind of shocking that like fucking. Sorry, I'm cussing so much.
He's mad. It's okay. It's okay if you're mad, bro.
Like, yeah, scientists, you would think that they would kind of be privy to the fact that that it's like, I don't know, it just feels weird that all of a sudden because it seems like we made Joe Rogan like the guy to listen to, like not, I don't mean we, like the people. The people made it that where no matter what, like, oh, what does Joe Rogan say about it? And it's like, bro, what does it matter what Joe Rogan says about it? Like, what does it matter?
He's the big guy to quote now, bro.
Yeah, like like if you want to quote Joe Rogan about like having a successful podcast or like being an amazing fighter or like, you know, commentating fights, that's another thing, because that dude is an incredible fighter, an incredible commentator at fighting. That's his credibility. But he's not a doctor. Like,
it's his own opinion.
Yeah, it's his opinion.
I just think it's weird because now it's like nobody talks about Joe Rogan more than people who don't like Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Which is like, aren't you kind of like, you're doing opposite?
You're promoting him.
Yeah.
It's like, it reminds me of like when guys talk shit about a girl and it's like, I fucking hate this bitch. And it's like, bro, all you ever do is talk about her. Are you sure you just don't like her? like all these people who hate on Joe Rogan. Because like I said, I don't even watch him. And to me, he doesn't really, like, I don't think about him. I don't think about him at all.
I feel like people make Joe Rogan out to be some evil, like right wing like guy. He's had like Bernie Sanders on, and like it's not, it'd be one thing if he had like a very specific set of people on there, but he doesn't. He's pretty, in my opinion, he's as neutral. His show is neutral. You know, he's just an opinionated guy. But it's an opinion, dude. Like, You can't just listen to anybody's opinion.
Yeah.
You know, follow the facts. Like it's weird that like I don't know. And then, like you would think that like the researchers who like are like, bro, like fuck this guy, like get him off the thing. It's like, don't you think that makes people not want the vaccine even more? If you're gonna be like, like we gotta get him off Spotify immediately.
Yeah,
like,
sus,
dude,
right?
Yeah, it's like, dude, like if he's full of shit, like you say he is, then what does it matter to you? Like you guys are the ones making him seem like he's this all-knowing God who knows everything. But you know what I thought was funny? Oh, sorry.
I don't know. I was gonna say like it's the same thing with like every celebrity. Like if you feel like they have too much power, like we're the ones who kind of gave them that power because we're the fans, right? Like if we don't want to listen to them, then the way to take away their power is just to stop listening.
But that's what I mean. But it's like it's childish to me. To me, it's really childish because to me, it's like we as a community, as people,
as a society,
I didn't want to say I don't want to say society, but fuck, it came out. Anyways, we as a society, we give celebrities and we make people popular, and then we're like, but it's on you to be responsible for what we do now.
Yeah, like fuck you, like bro, like I'm not getting the vaccine because you told me not to. Like bro, like why would you listen to him and not the doctor who spent like 12 years in medical school?
Right.
Like chances are the guy who did medical school knows what he's talking about. You know?
Like what's his name? Fauci,
Fauci?
That
Like
fool has
Fauci?
been around.
Yeah,
like has been around forever.
Like he was around for the AIDS pandemic. Like,
you know what I don't get? I saw a comment that's like, I trust fucking what was it? It was like I trust like the homeless guy more than I trust Fauci, and I was like, what? Why? I don't get. Somebody please, like, I hope if any conservative people or anybody who are red pilled are listening,
red pill and based,
yeah, please honestly call in or like hit me up or like or call in next week, like please, because I really want to know what Fauci personally did. Like, did he fuck your wife? Because like I don't understand. I really don't know where it comes from. Like I understand. Yeah, he lied at first. At first he did lie. He said he moved the goalpost because if not, people would freak out. I feel like reasonable. Okay.
Yeah.
They said that he was wrong about like when he first said don't wear masks, and then he's like do wear masks, bro. He just didn't know. Like he just didn't know.
That, and they said the mask thing was because they didn't want the people who like are on the front lines like running out of masks. Because like everybody freaked out and bought a bunch of toilet paper. Don't you think like if they were like, hey, everybody should wear masks, that we'd be sold out of masks in like 1 week? Like, come on, bro.
No, but also like he worked for Donald Trump and he's working for Biden. Like he doesn't have a tie to anything. Political bias. Yeah, he has a tie to the people. I really don't understand where the hate for Fauci is coming from. Like, I really want to know. Like, I'll sit here and I'll listen. Like, this is an open challenge. Maybe we'll clip this and I'll put it everywhere on social media. Conservative people, tell me, what did Fauci do? Why are you guys mad? And explain it to me. Make me conservative. This will be the thing they take out of context. It'll be in the headlines. Like, Steve Primos Chidos said, make me conservative.
That's another thing though. Like, I'm willing to listen, dude. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll listen.
Yeah. And Fauci secretly is like they caught him like sneaking out of a brothel and and like and then like there's a picture of him like morphing into a lizard person. Then okay, I'll listen. I'll see. Yeah. I'll be like, you know what? You guys are right. Maybe Fauci is evil. Maybe he is part of the NWO.
Bro, like, oh my god, I wish people would stop doing that shit though. Like the like how you said, where it's like, you know what, you're a celebrity, bro. You're responsible for what I do. Like, oh, really, dude? Like you're like 5.
They put them such in a high pedestal and stuff.
Yeah,
and it's like, bro,
like Joe Rogan is just a guy. He said all the time he just does the podcast for fun. Like he specifically says he only does it like twice a week because then it starts to feel like work if he does it more. Like, dude, come on, like. Again, no disrespect to Joe Rogan, a fellow podcaster.
Okay, well, I'm trying to put myself in the.
You guys are just biased because you guys are podcasters. That's why.
That's true though. You got me there. I am. It's true. That's a little bit of bias.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll admit to that. See that. I'm not gonna get mad. I'm not gonna get mad. I'll be.
I can't believe.
So if he's ever hiring or wants to be on our show, there's an empty seat right there.
There's an empty seat for Joe right there.
I'm just kidding.
I can't believe you're really supporting.
I leave the Primos Chidos and Joe. I'm on there. It's like they show the thumbnail.
That is weird though. Have you seen the video, the side by side of how CNN edited him to look sickly?
Yeah, he's like all green and
They
shit,
make
right?
him green. That is weird.
Look it up. It's gonna be.
Let's see if I can find
Let me
it.
pull that up.
Well, cause
People are gonna say we're in love with Joe Rogan because we always talk about it.
you're the one who always brings him up, specifically you.
Well, you guys engage
You
in.
guys-
You know what?
what am I supposed to
You know
not
what?
talk? What am I supposed to not talk on a podcast?
Do you not want me to bring him up anymore, bro? He's relevant.
Just give him a nickname. Let's call him. I don't want to hear Joe. They're trigger words now. Joe and Rogan are both trigger words.
They're trigger words.
Yeah,
for
so you got to give him a nickname. You can still talk about him. We call him Ape
you? Ape.
Bruh.
or Great Ape.
Great.
I was
Ape.
listening to the Great Ape last week. You know?
You can call. Why not like DMT?
DMT. He doesn't really do DMT. I think it's all for show.
You don't think he really does DMT?
No, because I hear that he actually like people think he's like a huge pothead and he's not. He's publicly said he doesn't smoke that much. He likes. I think he said he like smokes like once a week.
Well, he's usually always like smoking like cigars, no?
Yeah.
On like his podcast.
Well, because I think who was it? I think Wiz Khalifa was on his show and he's like, bro, like, can you outsmoke me? And Joe Rogan's like, no, you probably can. and it's like, how often you get high? And Joe Rogan is like, he's like, like
But yeah,
once a
but
week.
I'm sure Joe Rogan's just a humble guy, though.
Why are you saying it like that?
Oh yeah, there it is. Look at how they edited him.
Wow, they got rid of Wiz
Look at how pale he is. Like, look at this guy taking horse medicine. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You know what's weird? CNN is like
They're interesting. I hate them.
they're
CNN?
you know what? Well, so during the election in 2020, I feel like we watched a lot
They
of
were
CNN.
so fucking annoying.
Yeah, and
they were
and
so annoying.
the peak of like annoying commentators, and this is when I didn't even know who he was. I just genuinely my first impression of him was I thought he was annoying. Was Chris Kumo?
TJ and Latinx said call him El Vecino.
El Vecino?
I mean, yes.
I actually
am
like that.
I'm
Yeah,
down with that one.
El Vecino.
El Vecino.
Fucking I remember this guy Chris Kumo. I remember that I was like, oh shit, like this guy's fucking annoying. I was
Chris
like,
Cuomo's the brother, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Andrew Kumo. And he got fired from CNN.
Because he was using his CNN powers to like try to help his brother during the trial. No.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, you didn't know. That's why he got
I
fired.
didn't know he got fired.
He
You
got
didn't know
fired
he
from.
got fired?
No, I didn't know.
That was
he
like
got
big
fired.
news.
Yeah, so okay, so since you don't know, I'll tell you right now. Yeah, so he got fired because when his brother was like in hot water for the like sexual harassment, he was trying to use like his power to like help his brother out, and then I think obviously it got leaked that Andrew Cuomo like used illegally was like giving early access to like tests and like stuff to his family, and so CNN I think at first they put him on what do they call it before you get fired, but you have to quit.
Probation.
No.
And no, it's like it's like basically they use it for like you're not fired because we want you to quit. We don't want to fire you, but we want you to quit.
I don't know.
Where it's
I know what you're talking about. I don't know.
I forgot what it's called. But Chris Cuomo finally he left and he let like this long statement. And to me, I don't wish badly on anybody. Like nobody. Like I'm sorry if anything bad happens to you. But I'm just like I just thought it was ironic because during the elections, me and my sister were like, this guy's fucking annoying. Like he's
because you talk so much shit.
because he just seems like a disingenuine guy. He just always is like, I'm having a really rough time with these. Like, we don't know what America. And I feel like he has that kind of like he wants to be superior. Like he wants to have. He always feels like he's the superior guy. And I don't know him personally.
Well, because he would find any small moment to diss whatever was going on.
Yeah.
And it just become annoying. Like
I
it would
feel
just
like-
be like it legit. How Stevie says like they're living in your head rent free, bro.
I feel like CNN and Fox News are two sides of the same coin. I
yeah.
think they're both kind of annoying.
And it's crazy
No, yeah,
to
it's
see.
true.
It's crazy to see, like, because I remember when the Como brothers were like hot shit and stuff, and I was a part of that. I was like, wow, like that's crazy, right? And
Yeah.
now, like,
The fall from grace.
they
The
like
fall
fell.
from grace
Yeah.
for reals.
And I think that shit is crazy.
I
that,
remember social media would post that clip of like where it's like, oh my god, look at these two brothers like fucking around.
You know
And now,
who's really
like-
annoying though?
Who?
Fucking Tucker Carlson, bro. The guy on Fox News who's mad that M&Ms aren't sexy anymore.
Bruh.
You know which one, right?
Oh yeah,
The guy who's always
yeah.
like, "This is what the left wants." It's
He-
like, bro,
He literally looks like if in a cartoon you wanted to make like a conservative like news guy, like that's exactly
him?
what he would look
that's
like.
that's
yeah,
Fox,
yeah.
that's the Fox News version of Chris Cuomo.
He's one of those guys where like if I met him for the first time in real life, I would just know he's conservative just by the way he looks.
Yeah,
I'd be like, oh bro, it's like who'd you vote for in 2020? Let me guess.
bro. But can you believe M&Ms aren't sexy anymore?
The
He's
M&Ms.
mad.
They just
The de-yassification of
Did
the
you see
M&Ms?
what they did?
They got rid of They got rid of the
The-
shoes, right?
The green M&M doesn't have boots anymore. She has sneakers. It's like he's like, bro, like she used to be sexy.
I mean, but like there's still like girls who are like quote unquote like hoes who wear like white Vans and white
Are you
sneakers.
saying the M&M, the green M&M was a hoe?
That's what people say on Twitter.
Damn.
They're like I miss how slutty
The green M&M.
all it was her shoes. Like,
But they're also, I don't know if it was real, but they're mad that the Minnie Mouse has a jumpsuit now.
Oh, she has a
doesn't-
suit now.
She has a pantsuit. She has
yeah.
a pantsuit. She doesn't wear a dress anymore.
She has a suit now. I don't think that's like
Oh,
her.
really?
I don't think that's like her permanent design. I think it's just like a collab.
temporary,
No?
yeah. It's like
that article said that she's ditching her thing for the new suit.
Really? I thought it was more like
Yeah,
a collab.
look, Minnie Mouse, go back. Minnie Mouse is ditching her iconic red dress for a pantsuit. New York Post. Minnie Mouse wears first designer pantsuit for Disneyland Paris 30th. Minnie Mouse trades iconic dress for a pantsuit. Not
yeah,
everyone's a fan.
but it's for Paris's 30th. I think it's like a collab. Like it's an anniversary thing.
Oh.
Like it's more like it's just like who cares? Like it's just,
It's a cartoon.
Bro, they're cartoons.
Relax, son. It's just a drawing. All right,
Bro,
well,
but that's what the left wants. They want their M&M sexy and their Minnie Mouse showing some leg.
the left wants that.
I mean no,
the right?
the right wants that. I'm sorry, I fucked it up. The left wants Minnie Mouse to cover up and
And M&M's not to be sexy anymore.
not to be sexy anymore.
We want to be boring. That's why. I mean, the left wants.
Left wants to be boring?
Left
I
wants
would
to be
think the left would be more into like
a sexy M&M.
yeah. If anything, I would like if the M&M had like a bra and panties on, like
a
just the
bra
green.
and panties.
What?
Well, because I remember Eminem said that they were gonna do it more. They were redesigning them to be more inclusive. So I just thought they were gonna make the M&Ms like human, like it would just be like a person who wears like an M shirt. But they just got rid of like shoes and stuff.
Is that really it? They're not gonna do anything else beyond
I'm pretty
that?
sure that's it. I mean, they're fucking candies. What else could you do? Like,
I mean, it'd be cool if
They're
like
not real.
if they were people,
if they made
had,
like the yellow one, like
if they had
Mexican.
human, if they had human avatars.
I think I need to break it to you guys, but the M&Ms are not real.
But how would they make him Mexican? How would they make a Mexican? Just have a Mexican voice actor?
Maybe they give him a little like chocolate mustache.
Isn't that
that's,
a little?
That's stereotypical.
Isn't that a
bro.
little stereotypical?
Might as well just give him a sombrero.
You say that.
Give him a sombrero and a
you,
gun.
You say that as you're talking to me,
those-
who's Mexican with a mustache.
Don't they say
as you're
Mexicans?
staring me in the eyes.
Don't
Alright,
they
then-
say?
Then he should get a beard, not a mustache.
Why not just a mustache? Our uncle, he's Mexican. He has a mustache. Is that racist?
But
Is
like,
he falling into
but
stereotypes?
like, why does him having a mustache make him Mexican though? Is what we're saying.
It doesn't make him Mexican. He's just a Mexican M&M with a mustache.
Why does he? Why does he?
Why does he
why
need a
does he?
mustache?
Why does he have to be Mexican? Why can't he be Latino, bro?
Because I want representation.
Well, there's only so many M&Ms, bro. We
Well-
can't have it all.
Well, he'll be an indigenous Mexican, specifically from
Does he
Mexico.
have to be the brown one too?
I said he's the yellow one.
The yellow one. Well, I genuinely thought they were just gonna have like avatars and be like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're gonna be people and like Jake
Yeah.
from State Farm, you know? I thought they're gonna be like people now, but like, who cares? They're M&Ms. Like,
But
am I tripping? Am I honestly?
if
Are we
anything,
wrong?
if
Am I wrong?
If
Do I have
anything,
to
we need to make them even sexier.
change?
I'll go home and do concept art, and I'll bring it on next week's show.
Make them
and-
so sexy that it makes Fox News uncomfortable.
Yeah.
like they kiss like and stuff.
I was thinking like the red and yellow one.
The
We're
red and the
we're
yellow.
gonna be gay. I thought that's what
Yeah.
they
They
meant.
probably are. They probably are. I don't
Not
know.
that there's a problem with that, right,
yeah.
guys?
No, but
Yeah. I'm totally cool with that. Like that'd be awesome.
I'm totally cool with that.
Dude,
I was-
if they had an M&M shirt, like a genuine M&M shirt, where it's
Where they're making
where
out?
I'd wear it. Or like if you could go to Las Vegas and buy that, it's like the
It's
yellow
like-
and red.
I feel like
M&M.
it needs something catchy to go along with it, with them making out.
Nothing
it's like
sweeter?
make nothing sweeter,
nothing sweeter. Like they're kissing,
like drool,
they're
like making
kissing,
out.
They're intensely making out.
All right, well, this episode went a little over just because we got so caught up in the Eminem controversy.
The M&M lore.
If there's anything to take away from this, is that Eminem should be sluttier and it should be
M&M
sexier.
should be so slutty. I want one that's so thick that it makes everyone
Oh
so
my
uncomfortable.
God.
Yeah. And I want it to be the boy M&M.
The boy.
Yeah, who's thick? Because
Thick?
you never see any thick boys.
That's true.
Mm.
That's true. It's probably it'll be the yellow one because he has peanuts.
Yeah, the yellow. Oh, so his booty will be peanuts.
Yeah, they're making out, and then he's like cheeked up. He has like his
Cheeked
hands gripped around for like a good grip.
Wow. Sorry, folks, if your kids are listening. I don't know. Do kids
Yeah,
listen to us? What's our demographic?
And one last thing, I love you, Grandma. Wherever you are,
Yes.
I'll see you again.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
For
Okay.
you, I will.
Hold on. YouTube's gonna get special content, so stick around. YouTube.
Okay, tell that to the rest of the listeners.
Oh.
I know.
All right, bye, TGN.
See you guys.
Bye. Boonk. Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
YouTube. Who's-
Okay. Well, let's redesign the M&Ms. Let's see.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so there's the red one, right? The red
Alright,
one and the
wait,
yellow
wait.
one are always
I'll
together.
look them up. I'll look them up.
All
first.
right. Yeah.
The red one I'd make cross-eyed for no reason
No, no,
other,
no,
other
no,
than
no.
I think it's funny.
No.
Bruh.
Bro, you can't make fun of that.
Why
What
are
if
you
that's someone
saying-
doesn't
I
care
didn't-
about that?
I didn't say that they're funny looking. I just think it's funny. I can't have my opinion, man. We were just
Okay,
talking about.
okay.
I think,
There we go,
I think
there we
the
go.
blue one. I
Okay.
think the blue one should be thick.
The blue
Okay.
one? No. Okay. First of all, they have to be inclusive, is what they're saying.
Okay.
Inclusive to
Well, like-
race, gender, sexual orientation.
This one already wears glasses. Why is it that they didn't change her heels?
Because the
then?
other one she had cowboy boots. The
Oh.
yeah, she had like cowboy boots, and everyone's like, it's like too slutty.
But
or
she has
something.
what?
Okay, so
Y'all whack.
okay,
Okay,
pull 'em
wait,
up,
wait,
pull 'em
wait.
up. Okay, so are we assigning them like
See, this one has anxiety.
Yeah, the orange one has
okay,
anxiety.
the orange ones, he's a mental health. Like he represents mental health.
Yeah, so he's missing teeth. So he's gotta have
What?
missing teeth.
What?
What?
Okay, next.
Maybe
go.
he's
brown
just-
one. Brown one. Let's move on.
She has
Brown
glasses.
one.
She has glasses.
She has glasses. I feel
She's-
like she has glasses. Gotta give her big titties. I feel like that's just what it is.
Dude,
All right, red
this
one.
This isn't inclusive.
No. The red one. The red one. You know what? I feel like he should have a bulge. I just feel
A
like he should have a
bulge?
bulge. Yeah, that's
They're
it.
in love. They're in love.
You're just
too.
making them sexual though. They're not. How is this representative?
Cause everybody has sexual urges.
But
So
what
it's kinda
happened? I
Like
thought the yellow one was going to be an icon for the
What?
Hispanic community.
I haven't gotten there. We were on the red one.
But the red one just can't have a bulge. He also has to like
All right,
Is
he has hairy arms. Okay,
hairy
yellow.
arms.
The yellow one, I feel the red and the yellow one are gay. The yellow one, he
They're in
wears a
love.
skirt, and then the green one, I don't know. She's ignore her. The blue one,
No. Here's how it's gonna go. Here's how it's gonna go. Here's gonna
She's
go.
the only normal
yeah,
one.
she keep her as is.
Okay, I'm gonna stick with what Steve said. The other one, he's Hispanic. If you wanna get so nitty gritty, and like he has to be Mexican, then okay, he's Mexican.
He's tatted.
I think yeah,
He's tatted.
He's tatted.
He's tatted.
He's tatted, and the red one. The red one gives me white energy. He's like MAGA. So like, and
He has a bucket hat.
That's perfect that they're in a gay relationship
They're
because it interrupts.
Oh,
the-
you know what? The red one has yellow dyed hair, and then the yellow one has red dyed hair. Like as in like that's because they love each other that much, so they
No,
represent each other.
The red one's white and the yellow one's Mexican, and like their gay relationship is breaking like norms because you know what I mean.
Oh.
And the orange one, he has anxiety and he's like a mental health advocate.
Okay.
But does he have a race?
I feel like he shouldn't have shoes on. If he's like, I just feel like it'll really give that idea that he's like in distress.
So you want to see his feet?
Yeah, I feel like it'll be funny.
He has a foot.
He has a
fetish.
foot fetish.
No, I don't have a foot fetish. I'm just saying.
I
Wait,
think-
do you think they have toes?
I mean, they
I
have
don't
they have
know.
shoes.
Okay.
They
Anyway,
have
you know what?
fingers.
You know
I
what?
don't
We're not
know.
gonna do this.
What about the
All right.
The green one.
All right,
Mm,
two more.
Okay.
Wait.
The brown one. She's a professor of gender studies.
Okay.
And she's-
okay.
She's a strong woman.
Okay.
She's a strong woman.
The green.
Uh,
What about the green one?
the
I
green
feel like
one?
I feel like I like the
I-
original creators. That, as God intended, as the creators intended, they try to make her the more
Sexy one?
Sexy one.
She's.
So we gotta.
You know what? She
has lips, bro.
dude. she should be woman empowering. She should be woman empowering. Like she should be like the woman icon.
Mhm.
Like,
no, but her design though.
Yeah, that's why she should be like she shouldn't be threatened. She should be sexy
So
because like she
so-
shouldn't be forced
But
to
what do we
like,
do to make her sexy?
she's a doctor.
She
No,
doctors are sexy?
design.
I say give her the boobs.
Okay, she has boobs. Just like
And-
Eminem boobs. It's kind of funny. You ever get an Eminem that has like a boob?
yeah, sure.
All right, what about the blue one?
The blue one.
Guy, he seems cool as
he seems
fuck.
young.
young.
does seem cool as fuck.
He
seems
smokes.
young.
He smokes weed.
He smokes weed.
Yeah, he has a joint in his hand. All
smokes
right,
weed.
there you go. We can end the episode now.
All right. Bye, YouTube.
We'll see you guys.
Bye, Primos.
Bye. I don't know. Don't cancel